Yes, I'm a visitor to your fair county and this fair area today. This is the first time I've had the privilege of seeing this beautiful state park. I am the immediate past chair of the Yolo County Board of Supervisors, so acknowledging some of the challenges that Supervisor Silva, in his role as chair of the Board of Solano right now, okay, thank you, is facing as a county supervisor. We all know that as political subdivisions of the state, we are facing big budget challenges. But you know, we're here today because I think it's important for us as Californians and as local citizens to articulate what our values are. This is beyond just a $13 million drop in the bucket in terms of the $20 billion state budget shortfall. We need to be very clear what our priorities and our core values are. That state parks and parks in general and recreation and opportunities for people to enjoy freely the beauty and the nature that surrounds us in the midst of all of this urbanization. I think that's what we need to be clear about. We need to make sure that these core values are respected and recognized. You know, in just a couple of weeks, unless some action changes, this park will be closed. And what will happen then is this will become a magnet for all sorts of other activities that are going to ultimately cost in the criminal justice system, in all sorts of other unintended consequences of a park closure. So I think we need to not only speak to ourselves about the impacts of this park closure, but also bring in non-traditional partners, for example, from the law enforcement community, to say, what would be the impact of closing this park? This is going to create additional costs that we do not need to be spending at this time. So I applaud all of you, and I thank you for allowing me to join you today. Let's make sure that we establish new coalitions with people who are not just here because we love a beautiful day in the park, but because there will be other unintended consequences that will end up costing us a lot more money than a $13 million shortfall currently shows. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak today, and I will be with you in this fight.
My name's Jerry Karr, and I'm the longtime member of Napa Solano Audubon. I'm currently the Conservation Committee Chair, and I'm also a member of Audubon California's State Board of Directors. The state organization has long had a very close relationship with California State Parks, and about 18 months ago we signed an agreement with the director, Ruth Coleman, establishing an endowment. Audubon has established an endowment that monies will be available to local chapters and to state parks for projects related with those parks. Unfortunately, the endowment is about the same size as my retirement account, so we can't help the parks all that much. So, but we have long supported the state parks, and it's critical that we keep this place open. I was born in 1945 in Vallejo, and for the first 20 years of my life, I lived right over this hill on the corner of Lewis Avenue and Glen Cove Road before they invented Glen Cove. And it was a red letter day, boy, when I got to come to the dump with my dad, because the dump was right here. And, you know, I used to bring home more stuff than we left there, I think. But, and we used to also have to pay to drive down this road to Dillon's Point at the end to go fishing. It was all private property in those days. And so you just could not come out here and visit the area. You couldn't come here and fish. It's back when John used to go to Spengler's over there for lunch all the time. But this area, I have my book here. This is Important Bird Areas of California. That is a publication of the California Audubon Society. The Benicia State Recreation Area is listed as one of only 148 important bird areas in the state of California. There are hundreds and hundreds of important bird areas, but there's that number has met a scientific criteria to be identified to an international standard as an important bird area. We're fortunate to have a low tide so we can see all the mud behind us. You know, that's just the world's greatest feeding ground for the thousands upon thousands of shorebirds and wading birds that migrate twice a year up and down the Pacific coast. It is an amazing food source for all of those animals passing through. The birding is not the greatest at this time of the year. The winter is really when we are just this bay. Sometimes you can't see the water for the number of birds out there. But for 108 years, the Audubon Society has had an event called a Christmas bird count that takes place either a week before or a week after Christmas Day. And the Benicia Christmas bird count is one of the oldest established counts in California. We have been, and Benicia State Recreation Area comes within our count circle, which is a 15-mile diameter, and the center is basically over at Pierce Harbor. So this is on the southwestern area of that. But it is data collected by those bird watchers and citizen scientists that count birds over the years that have allowed us to provide the data to where this area can be considered as an important bird area. If this is closed to the public, then we can't come in here and watch birds. Now the critters will be fine, except for all the feral cats coming getting them. But we need that access by the public to come in and do our bird counts, not only enjoy all of the birds and other animals that are here, but that information is relied upon by Cal Fish and Game and other regulatory agencies. They look all over the state at those organizations that provide that kind of information. So we very much encourage the continued opening of this park, not only for our access, for all of your access. There's every kind of interest. If people still fish a lot out here, just come out and have a picnic. It is a wonderful spot, and it's right in our backyard. And unfortunately, there are hundreds and hundreds of people in Benicia and thousands in Vallejo that don't even know it's here. So that's the unfortunate thing about all of our passions is we have it, and where are all the rest of the people out here today supporting our park? So thank you for allowing me to speak, and thank you for considering Audubon as an organization that really, really, really wants to keep this place open.
Hi, I am obviously a kid, local to Benicia, and I am in Girl Scouts. I go to the middle school, I'm in the GATE program, and I do nature ball with one of the elementary schools. And the state park has been something that's always been in the back of our minds, always something that we look and are proud of because, well, I grew up in, I first grew up in Hercules across the bay, and we didn't really have a state park, and when we moved over here, we started using it, and it's great to be able to come over here and hike through the hills, ride your bike. There's a little fishing down closer to the flats. I've been able to learn quite a bit about our local Bay Area. And if it is closed, then kids like me won't be able to learn about where we live. And I know in school we learn, 3rd grade, we learn about Benicia. And they take a field trip every single year to the state park. And you learn about the plants and the animals, and it's just really neat. And if it is closed, it won't benefit anything. The government up in Sacramento, they don't know the park. It's not really well known. And they don't realize that if they do close it, they're going to be losing more money than they're gaining.